35 V8 supercars set to do battle in the first of 3 sprint races. Craig Lowndes and Mark Scaife on the front row. John Bowe with a little bit of problems, which we'll talk more about shortly, in the Caterpillar Ford, alongside Glenn Seaton, Larkham Tander, Paul Radisich and Russell Ingall on row 4.
Tony Longhurst and Greg Murphy start out of row 5. John Faulkner and Neil Crompton out of row 6. Craig Baird and Paul Wheel, good effort that. 14th, Brad Jones, his strongest qualifying performance so far in the Aussie Male Falcon.
Further back, Stephen Richards and Larry Perkins, row 9. Ellery and Cameron Mclean, 10. Mick Donoghue and Mark Poole out of 21 and 22. 23 and 24 is Dougal McDougall and Cameron McConville.
Out of row 13 is Steve Reed and Paul Morris in the big Kev Commodore. Rodney Forbes and Stephen Johnson. Steve's having all sorts of dramas with setup this weekend. He's right back in the queue. Anthony Tratt, Trevor Ashby, Paul Romano and Peter Dillman.
And we've got word that Larry Perkins is having some sort of drama with the Castrol Commodore, can't start the car.
Well, they just made an engine change just before the start of this race. He had a pretty high mileage.
Oh, there he is there.
Got it going. Yep.
How quick did they change that engine, Mark? Mark and I watched it. It was like
quite incredible.
35 minutes. Incredible.
Engine had something like 3,500 racing Ks on it. And they had apparently some sort of failure inside. They changed the engine. I think it was in the space of about 45 minutes. Quite incredible.
Unreal.
We've really got this engine changing very quick in V8 supercars now. Work our way through the in-car cameras that you'll be looking at today. Brad Jones in the Aussie Mail Internet Racing Machine. CUB in-car camera, bringing you all the drama and excitement from aboard that Ford. And Bradley, as I said before, having his strongest qualifying performance this weekend, so the Jones team really getting their act together in V8 supercar.
From one Ford to another, the Ford in-car with Glenn Seaton. 4th he'll start today, the man who up until yesterday held the qualifying lap record here, but that was smashed by no less than 8 drivers.
The enforcer, Russell Ingall, on Walker in-car camera. He got held up on his fast lap yesterday. And he's sure the car can go quicker than his qualifying performance would represent, so we could see some fireworks from Ingall in the Northern Territory today.
We saw out the front of Ingall's Commodore this man, the Rat, Paul Radisich, the Shell Helix in-car, aboard the Dick Johnson Racing Falcon. He will start from grid position 7 for the first of today's races.
And Mitre 10 Ford, the Mitre 10 in-car camera. Strong qualifying performance from Mark Larkham. 5th on the grid, showing a lot of speed. Larkham could be one to watch this afternoon as the cars take the grid. There's Radisich behind. Radisich too. Not really happy with the setup on the car. He can't quite get the cornering balance the way he wants it.
We just have to watch JB with he's apparently lost 1 cylinder, so just keep your eye on him, because it's going to hold Larkham up, Radisich and Longhurst. So
he was certainly shaking his head before there, Barry. They had the bonnet up for quite a while they were sitting on the grid, and it doesn't sound like they've been able to cure that problem, whatever it is. So a big disappointment for the Caterpillar Ford.
Despite the 100mm reduction in front under tray for the Commodores, that front row of the grid has a very familiar look to it. 2 red Commodores.
I reckon they should stick some lead in there.
As we get set for battle, Holden versus Ford here at Hidden Valley. A Holden front row, 2 Fords on row 2. 35 cars and 18 laps. We are away. Lowndes and Scaife, the drag race for turn 1. Bowe gets a good start, which is quite a surprise. As the field streamed out towards turn 1, Mark Scaife has taken the lead from Lowndes. Look at this, the jostling for position between Ingall and Larkham and Bowe. Bowe has dropped right back.
Yeah, John Bowe's very careful on this opening lap when they're fighting for position. If he is running on 7 cylinders, he's going to have an obvious power disadvantage. I'm not sure if the crew have been able to fix it. We'll have to watch his progress as the race continues.
Oh, that's Paul Morris there out in the dirt. Yeah, it doesn't look like JB's car is going too bad at the moment.
Well, hopefully they've been able to cure that misfire. That's a rotten time to drop onto 7 cylinders.
Oh, we've had a spin in the background there. One of the Kmart cars, that is Stephen Richards, who's gone around. That's on the lead up to the terrace hairpin where we are now. You can see Bowe on the exit there. Little tentative. Russell Ingall looking for a move down the inside. Does he get it? Oh,
no. Yeah, it looks as if JB's car is still off on 1 cylinder, because he's definitely holding Ingall up there.
And a big field sweep around through the S's down toward the corner onto the main straight for the first of 18 laps. And there's big problems.
Now, I wonder if that's a result of that moment Stephen Richards had. Oh,
Radisich.
Well, that's rotten luck for the Kiwi. He's been involved.
Oh, Larry going backwards.
He's got it in reverse too. He's trying to get out of there. Now that's Garth Tander. Is that Garth Tander we saw a moment ago there?
Looked like it.
Been a big crash, big coming together on that opening lap.
Yeah, it must have been the first corner. Right, get a look here.
Just coming up into the valley.
Oh, look, somebody down the inside there. Oh, that's
Stephen Richards.
Stephen Richards, by the looks of it. And who's that? That's Barguana, isn't it? Oh, boy, everybody, look at this lot.
Well, the Kmart car was just flying across the grass.
Yeah, I don't know what went on there. It was just...
That's how Radicic got tangled up in there as well. Boy, that was a real coming together.
No, that's Barguana.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. And Larry smoking them.
He's just not having a good championship series, is he?
No, not at all.
Engine change after the warm-up this morning. There's the Kmart car. Stephen Richards came flying across the grass there, coming into the right-hander that brings the field up into the valley, but he's done some serious damage to the front of that car.
Yeah, I couldn't make out why. What was going on there? Unless he ran wide, got on the grass and just couldn't stop it.
The car was certainly carrying some speed, and talk of speed, the Holden racing team, despite that 100 mil penalty that all the Holdens have copped this round, off the front under tray. Holden's running 1 and 2. Scaife leading from Lowndes. Glenn Seaton, the first of the 4 drivers, sitting in third. You can see there John Bow, the Caterpillar Ford, slipping back through the field. Paul Wheel, what about that? He's up to 10th place and doing very well.
Yeah. Oh, look, this is how Larry came together. Who's that? Cameron Mclean, is it?
Yep.
By the looks of it, yes, it is. Oh, that was...
Trying to run up the inside.
Get a look at this going backwards.
So there's been all sorts of incidents here.
Oh, look at this. Wow.
Oh, that's where Radicic got tagged. That was the collision with Morris. Well,
that was a major.
Very difficult to tell from that shot.
Yeah,
but
really.
Stephen's car was certainly carrying some speed when he arrived at that corner.
Oh, he's off on the grass. There's Larry back into the pits.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had a Craig
that's
Baird.
Craig Baird.
So,
Boy, there's a lot of carnage early on.
The Kiwi having some real dramas as the field battle on. Stephen Ellery there. We can see Cameron McLean and Brad Jones, who's doing quite well in the Aussie Male Falcon. Jones at the moment sits in 14th.
So the order at the moment: Scaife in command from Craig Lowndes, Seaton in third, Garth Tander in fourth, Larkham in fifth. Then we go back to Ingle, Murphy, Longhurst, Wheel up to ninth, and John Bow in 10th. So Wheel's doing an outstanding job in the K&J thermal machine.
That's great. He qualified so well, didn't he? He's a great little driver, I think.
Our viewers watching through TV New Zealand, not a huge amount to cheer about at this stage when you consider that Paul Radicic was involved in that altercation. Craig Bair's just spun. Best of them at the moment, Greg Murphy, 7th place in the Kmart Commodore.
Here from the pit, Stephen Richards has retired from this race. That damage considered too severe. So another bad day for the Kmart Castrol team. Richards will go to the back of the grid if he can make the start for Heat 2. At the moment, Seaton in this battle for third position with Tander, Larkham, Ingle just behind. Then a bit of a gap back to Murphy, Longhurst, Wheel, John Bow hanging on in 10th position, and Mark Poole. Good performance in the John Deere Commodore. He's just outside the top 10, 11th position.
Look at this, look at Larkham. Oh, it's going to be a long way around there.
Amazing speeds they pull on the front straight here at Hidden Valley. At the moment, Mark Scaife, the quickest of them, 257.5 kilometres an hour through our speed trap.
Oh, look at this. Larkham. Oh, I can hear some tyre screeching somewhere.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's Longhurst and who's that? That's Murph, is it?
Always hold your breath when you hear those tyres squealing. You don't know what you're going to pick up when the camera pans around. Fortunately, not too much damage there. Apparently, we hear from the pits that Radicic had clutch problems off the start. That's why he dropped right back into the field and unfortunately got caught up in all that carnage up here.
What a rotten weekend it has been so far for that team, the Dick Johnson Racing outfit. Radicic is out with those problems we were talking about before, and Stephen Johnson well down the order, 16th.
You look at Seaton's car, seems to really put the power down good out of the slower corners, doesn't it? Because he was pulling quite a lot from Tander.
Ingle's doing some good lap times here. He's just on a 1:09.89. That's why he's closing in on the back of this battle. Now he's got to find his way through.
Oh, this is in car with Radicic now. Yep. Let's get a load of this.
I think he collides with Paul Morris here.
No, that's one up the backside.
That was Morris.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah, so all sorts of carnage going on in that group coming through that corner. A lot of cars damaged in the process. But out the front, positions remain the same. Scaife and Lowndes. Seaton, Tander, Larkham, Ingle, Murphy, Longhurst, Wheel still in 9th, Faulkner in 10th, and Cameron McConville. Great performance, he's up to 11th.
Right there.
Oh, look at this. Look.
Yeah, there's a real freight train here. We were riding
Yeah.
there a moment ago with Glenn Seaton. This is the battle for third. Tander in behind him. Larkham doing a terrific job. And there's Russell Ingall, the enforcer. The man who finished first in the third race at Eastern Creek. And this has been a happy hunting ground for him in the past.
Holden Racing Team still in command. They've been very fast throughout practice and qualifying. The Fords, though, trying to track them down. Doesn't look like that sport of modifications has any effect on their speed at the moment. Actually stretching a little bit of a gap there. 1.27 seconds, the gap from Lowndes back to Seaton, who's under fire from Garth Tander in the Valvoline machine. Larkham in 5th place, so this battle remaining static. Ingall, though, stuck in behind them. And it's going to be very, very hard to overtake around this layout as they come up toward the valley section once again. Hard on the brakes. Swing hard right. Glenn Seaton, good strong performance from the 35-year-old. Originally from Sydney, now based himself for many years down in Melbourne. And leading the Ford attack at Hidden Valley this afternoon.
Biggest mover on the circuit at the moment has got to be Stephen Johnson. Started 28th in this race and now sits 14th.
He said he was going to be on a charge. Would have been helped, I guess, by
Some of these
threading his way through that carnage on the opening lap.
He did well, as we saw in that in-car shot before, to avoid his teammate Paul Radicic. And
Have we lost Paul Wheel? Can't see him.
Well, apparently we hear...
Oh, look at this lot. Oh, dear me.
there's damage to the front of Poole's car. You can see the
wheel there. Oh, right.
Cameron McConville taking evasive action. It looked as though it's Romano's car.
Romano, yeah, definitely.
Look at that.
Oh, that's Romano's. Oh, dear me.
That's his spoiler.
He's got Romano's spoiler pegged in the front of the car. That shows. If you ever wanted
they'll have to laugh. I mean, it's...
If the officials ever wanted any
very
evidence,
dangerous. They need to stop that. That's really... Oh, right, okay. It's the sort of thing you don't really want to carry around with you.
Not really the best aerodynamic assistance, no. So Poole into the pits.
Oh, boy.
Well, what a race this first one has turned out to be here at Hidden Valley. Plenty of action. Take a closer look at just what happened
get
there.
a load here, right. It looks like Paul Wills touched Romano up the backside, the looks of it, and then that's quick detachable spoiler there.
Well, Neil Crompton, McConville, Trevor Ashby and Steve Reed all taking good evasive action. Let's have another look.
I'm trying to get... Yeah, it does. It looks as if Paul will just tap the back of Romano.
look at the chain reaction this sets off.
Oh, look at Crompton. That was a bit of Houdini.
Cameron McConville just sneaking through Nick Donoghue and the repaired TDK Ultra-Tune machine. So unfortunately, we hear Paul Wheel is out of the race after a great opening stint up in the top 10.
Now it looks as though Glenn Seaton is gradually reeling in the Holden Racing team. The gap has narrowed, or so it would seem. And staying in tow with Seaton is Tander, Larkham and Ingall. So this is going to be a real dogfight towards the finish of this one. Lap 9 of 18.
It's going to be interesting to see who's using their tyres the best. When I say who's using their tyres the best, so whose car is the most sort of conservative on tyre wear.
Last lap around, Mark Scaife, a 1:11.05, and it was quite a significant, quite a lot slower than his teammate Craig Lowndes, who did a 1:10.92. So Scaife may be struggling.
Well, City gets a bit of a queue building up behind him. That crucial gap between the back of Lowndes' car.
Your leader, Mark Scaife from Craig Lowndes, Seaton holding off a determined Garth Tander. Larkham's there as well. Look at all of them trying to pull out of the slipstream. Lowndes. It's an amazing corner, turn 1 here at Hidden Valley. If you've not seen that before, it's almost possible to have them 5 wide on this front straight, and then it funnels down into turn 1. It's very difficult to get more than 1 or 2 cars wide through there.
Yeah, it does look as if Craig is after Scaife, doesn't it? Now he's all over the back.
Yeah, he's got to get some championship points back too, our reigning champion. He's back in 5th in points at the moment, 319 as opposed to the 480 of his teammate. So it's important for Lowndes to keep finishing ahead of his main competition for the championship. Right now he's boxed in behind his teammates. Seaton's still in 3rd position. Tander, Larkham, Ingall back there in 6th, and a bit of a gap back to Murphy, Longhurst, Ellery in the Super Cheap Autos Falcon. That's a good effort from the Queenslander. He's up in the top 10 now. and John Faulkner rounds out the 10.
You talk about Ingle there a moment ago, Mark. He sits 6th in the championship as well, so the Enforcer desperate for points.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch the performance of the cars over these 3 20-minute races, and whether this adjustment to the front of the Commodores has an effect on their tyre wear. I know the teams were saying that they were taking a little bit of rear wing off, that is reducing the amount of downforce on the back to try and balance the car out after they lost a little bit of grip at the front. And whether that has an effect on the tyres over the race distance, only time will tell. But they're looking like pretty close at the moment. Seaton giving them plenty of heat in the FTR Falcon.
I tell you, it's, Longhurst is going quick. Longhurst is catching up.
To give you an idea, folks, currently here at Hidden Valley around 30 degrees, but the on-track temperature is about 39, so you can imagine just how hot it is when you add the heat from the cars inside the cabin. It is torturous on these drivers, and that shot a moment ago we saw with Glenn Seaton really doing it tough here at Hidden Valley in these hot, warm conditions.
Look at this.
This is Donaher and Cameron McConville in the Auto Pro Commodore.
Nicely spun around.
Did Cameron keep it off the guardrail there? Looks as though he's done a complete 360.
Whoa!
Yes. Oh, spoilers.
Well, not the day the 26-year-old from Victoria would have liked. They have been making inroads with that Auto Pro Commodore.
Just watching this gap between Seaton and the HRT Geo in front. He's brought it under a second, but it's hovering around about 7 or 8 tenths of a second. So that position not really changing. He's sort of boxed in. 6 laps remaining.
Don't forget, of course, for all the latest from the Shell Championship Series, why not check out v8supercar.com.au. That is the official V8 Supercar website. It's got a terrific array of information and a lot of links to the teams, for example, information, race results, championship points, the whole lot. And while you're on the net, check out the 10 website as well.
Gee, there's a collision or something back there. Saw Ingle was very close to the back of Larkham's car. They were just bumper to bumper, the three of them coming out of that turn. There was a big puff of smoke, and they've lost a lot of track position to Seaton. So something happened back there. Larkham under extreme pressure from Russell Ingle. Ingle now 6th in the championship, desperately hunting for points. And this is a place we will probably do it always strong at Hidden Valley.
It's not the easiest place to get past, though, really, is it? I mean, it's the end of the day. You can, if you position yourself right in the straight, there's no way that you can get past at the end of it.
Whatever happened there, that helped Garth Tander as well, as we got 5 to go, folks, in race 1 here at Hidden Valley. Might have a close look at see what happened here.
Right. Nothing, no touches. I don't know, it's something going.
Oh, I think Larkham.
It's like
Larkham may have touched the back of Tander's car, but we couldn't.
A concertina effect, I think.
Well, yeah, but
Here we go.
I don't understand the smoke.
There we go. And what happens here?
Yeah, it just touches the back of. Yeah. Yes.
A sandwich.
Yeah, well, that was really not really anybody's fault. It's just one of those things when everybody's so close, you can't help it.
The end result is they lost a bit of track position. They managed to claw it up pretty effectively. Seaton's still in 3rd. Not being able to do anything about the Red Barons in front of him. Fastest lap so far, Russell Ingle, a 1:09.89 on lap 4. That got him up onto the bumper of the Mitre 10 car, but he hasn't been able to make any further progress since then.
Now look at this, Tony Longhurst is starting to close the gap as well in the Caltex Havilene Falcon.
Greg Murphy.
Yeah, I noticed Longhurst was coming up before. He caught up a hell of a lot really very quickly.
So across the strike this time. 4 to go. Lowndes tucked in behind teammate Mark Scaife, the championship leader. He leads by 4 points from this guy here, Garth Tander, in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore.
Look at the back. Look at the back of Garth's car. There's smoke coming out there. So.
Been watching that smoke come out the last couple of laps. Weren't sure whether it was mechanical. It looks like it's stopped there. Not quite sure what's going on with Garth's car. Doesn't seem to be slowing him down at the moment.
Possibly a tyre rubbing on a guard mark.
No, I don't think so, because it's coming out the centre, and it seems on overrun it comes out.
Tony Longhurst, the 42-year-old Gold Coaster, having an increasingly competitive run in the Shell Championship Series this year. I was talking to one of the engineers on the Stone Brothers racing team, Campbell Little, and he's saying it's been so difficult for Tony because most of his racing career he really hasn't worked in the high-tech part of this team in terms of working with telemetry.
Very much a seat-of-the-pants driver.
Yeah, very much a seat-of-the-pants driver. Now he's having to discipline himself, smooth out his driving, use all that data acquisition to his advantage. And you can see that as he becomes more and more to terms with the high technology, he's getting better and better results.
Lowndes Still there, but not close enough to get past his teammate. 3 to go in race 1 at Hidden Valley. Scaife continues to lead the way for the Holden Racing team. First of the Fords, sitting in third is Glenn Seaton. Then it's Tander, Larkham, Ingle, Tony Longhurst 7th, Murphy 8th, Stephen Ellery 9th. That's a great drive, and Faulkner completes your 10.
There's not really anywhere here where you can get really right up someone's backside and sort of nip it up the inside. It's that nature circuit that there really isn't anywhere you can stuff it up.
You look at the history of HRT here.
Look at the back. That is...
looks like oil.
Yeah, it does look like oil, because if you see, well, watch when he backs the thing off. Now when he gets on it, you see when he gets on it again, it's... it could maybe coming from a diff or something like that. No.
Word from the pits is the team say there's nothing mechanically wrong with this car. So Garth is pressing on, and it pays his last lap a 110.6, and through the speed trap 253.7 kilometres an hour. So the Valvoline Cummins Commodore not slowing at all, and he's still in touch with Glenn Seaton. You can see there.
Well, no, this looks like oil smoke or something.
Yeah, it definitely is also, because as he backs it off on overrun, it sort of loads it up with oil wherever it's coming from, and as he gets on it,
like an oil surge. Yeah. 2 laps remaining for our race leader, Mark Scaife. Craig Lowndes still in second, Seaton in third, Tander fourth, Larkham, Ingle, Longhurst, Murphy, Ellery, Faulkner. That's top 10 staying fairly static. I mean, you can look at HRT's record at the Hidden Valley. It's always been a bit of a bogey circuit for them. Well, they've cured that this year. Very fast throughout practice and qualifying, and leading Heat 1.
Larkham was saying that he's suddenly got the car sorted out when they changed the construction of the tyres. It really affected their car badly, and it's just here in the last sort of this weekend, you know, we just said we've got the thing right. You know, it's a different car to drive.
Smoke continues to come out the back of Tander's car there. We saw through the terrace hairpin. There it is again.
Puff.
Word is that Gary Rogers, team boss for the Valvoline Cummins team, shrugging his shoulders, not quite sure what's going wrong.
I don't think it's anything drastic. It's just it looks like an oil leak, and you don't need an awful lot of oil to leak to make it smoke like that.
Look at how close Lowndes is now. They will get the last lap board this time around as they come over the start-finish line at Hidden Valley. Still not close enough, though, to make a move. He tries pulling out of the slipstream, but there, a graphic shot of how far back he is.
Tell you what, Scaife's car looks quicker than Lowndes' down the straight.
Tander looking for a different line to Seaton. Seaton plays defensive. Into turn 1, we are on our way home. Holden Racing leading the way. Scaife and Lowndes. You ride now with Glenn Seaton, who sits in 3rd place, and looking back at Garth Tander in 4th. Larkham, a tremendous performance in 5th, and Russell Ingle, the enforcer, 6th.
Really, I can't see the positions changing, because unless you really want to take a massive chance, there really isn't anywhere to get through. And Scaife is pretty good at making it wide.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Oh, no, what's that?
It's coming out of the front.
Coming out of the front. Yeah. So it's obviously coming out of the motor somewhere, or oil tank or something at the front. And
well, we'll find out during the break what happened to Garth Tander's car, but they've done a good job. Gary Rogers Motorsport team knocking this car into shape. Garth was in all sorts of trouble early in practice, but he couldn't get the power down. But now the car seems to be working much better.
Yeah, they changed the springs on the front. It's made a massive difference.
They work onto the front straight for the final time, and they will get the checkered flag in race 1, and it's taken out by Mark Scaife. Holden Racing 1-2. Lowndes in 2nd place. Look at that for 3rd.
Tander, maybe.
I think you'll find Seaton got there.
Yeah.
Seaton from Tander in 4th place. Larkham 5th. 100th of a second separating Seaton and Tander. Boy, oh boy, that was close. So the 23-year-old from Western Australia certainly got a good run out of that final turn and onto the front straight.
Yeah, it was really a good run, because he was quite a long way behind. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Glenn missed a gear or something, but it seemed to have been an ever so special good run.
Craig Baird there didn't have the best of starts to his day after having that spin just before the left-hander, which brings you on to the front straight. But for the Kiwis watching, he finished in 14th position. So not a bad recovery. This is your victor, Mark Scaife, and more valuable championship points for our championship leader.
Unusual amount of carnage in that.
Unbelievable, and lots of work for the crews to do before we get set for race 2 and race 3 this afternoon. There he is, and plenty of happy fans too. Mark Scaife from Craig Lowndes. Glenn Seaton getting home 3rd in a nail-biter, just edging out Garth Tander. Larkham, a tremendous performance for 5th. Russell Ingle 6th. Tony Longhurst 7th. and Greg Murphy bringing the Kmart Commodore 8th. Then it's Ellery, Faulkner, Brad Jones, Dougal McDougall, Stephen Johnson, Craig Baird, Anthony Tran, a good performance in the Toll Falcon, and Steve Reed 16th.